It is 3:30 in the afternoon. The deposition starts at 5. The witness is your client, and you have either not met them before today, or you met them 3 weeks ago during a different phase of the matter and have not looked at the file since because another matter was on fire and you had to deal with that first. Or the matter has shifted in the last week, and the witness now needs to be prepped on ground that did not exist when you last spoke. You have 90 minutes. The witness is sitting in the conference room down the hall, and they are nervous, and you need to be the most informed person in the room when the deposition starts. Every senior litigator has lived this exact scene, often more than once a year, and the panel's view is that this is the workflow where Claude changes the most for the most practitioners. Not because the model replaces the work, but because it compresses the work that used to be impossible to do in 90 minutes into work that becomes possible to do well in 90 minutes. The difference between walking into the conference room confident and walking in underprepared is enormous. And that difference is what this episode is about. The protocol the panel uses runs in 4 passes, each one with a different ratio of Claude work to lawyer work, and each one targeting a different layer of what witness prep actually is. The total time is 90 minutes, and the output is a witness who is ready and a lawyer who is ready to defend or examine them. 90 minutes is not arbitrary, and the panel wants to spend a moment on why this is the right scope before walking through the protocol itself. Anything less than 90 minutes, and the prep becomes a rushed walkthrough of the obvious points, which is what junior practitioners default to under time pressure. The witness gets a hurried briefing on the matter narrative, the most likely lines of questioning, and a few warnings about what not to volunteer. That is necessary work, but it is not sufficient work, and the gaps it leaves are the gaps that opposing counsel will find. Anything more than 90 minutes in the situation we are describing, and you do not have it. The deposition starts when it starts. The witness has a job, has a life, has limited tolerance for being prepped, and pushing past 90 minutes of intensive preparation generally produces diminishing returns, regardless of how well prepared you would like them to be. 90 minutes is the window that actually exists in working practice. What the 4-pass protocol does is allocate those 90 minutes across the work that matters most, in the order that makes each pass build on the previous one. Pass 1 maps the territory. Pass 2 finds the trouble. Pass 3 pressure tests the answers. Pass 4 produces the briefing the witness walks in with. Each pass has a specific time budget, and the budgets are designed so that the lawyer's attention is concentrated on the work only the lawyer can do. Pass 1 runs for 15 minutes, and Claude does most of the work. The purpose of the pass is to map the territory the witness is going to be examined on, so that you and the witness are both walking into the deposition with the same picture of where their knowledge actually sits. You hand Claude the matter file, the witness's prior statements, if any exist, and the deposition notice or subpoena that defines the scope. You ask Claude to produce a structured map of the witness's likely areas of knowledge. What documents did they author? What documents did they receive? What meetings did they attend that are in the record? What time periods are they likely to be asked about? What specific factual questions are the deposition notice or the matter narrative most likely to generate? Claude produces a structured output with citations to the underlying documents, and you read through it the way you would read a junior associate's first-pass memo. You are looking for things Claude missed, things Claude misread, and things that are right but need more emphasis than the model gave them. The output is not the work product. The output is the working surface for the next 3 passes. What you walk out of Pass 1 with is a witness map that covers the territory honestly, including the parts of the territory where the witness's knowledge is thinnest. That matters because the thin parts are where the deposition will spend the most time. Pass 2 runs for 25 minutes, and the ratio shifts. Claude is now a research partner. You are leading. The purpose of the pass is to surface every inconsistency, every gap, and every soft spot in the witness's likely testimony before opposing counsel finds them. You take the witness map from Pass 1 and ask Claude to compare the witness's prior statements, the documents they authored, the documents they received, and the matter narrative, looking specifically for places where the 4 sources do not line up cleanly. Claude produces a list. The witness said X in a prior statement. The contemporaneous email says something close to X, but not exactly X. The matter narrative the partner has been building treats X as established, but the document record is more equivocal than that. These are the points where the witness is most likely to stumble, where opposing counsel is most likely to push, and where the inconsistency between sources will eat the most time in the deposition. You read the list with the eye of someone who has watched witnesses come apart in depositions before. Most of the inconsistencies on the list will turn out to be benign, explainable by ordinary memory or by the fact that different documents covered different aspects of the same event. Some of them will not. The ones that are not benign are the ones the witness needs to be prepared for, and the ones the lawyer needs to think about before the deposition starts. This is the pass that most distinguishes prepared witnesses from unprepared ones, and it is the pass that 90 minutes makes possible, where 30 minutes did not. Pass 3 runs for 30 minutes, and this is the pass where the lawyer does the most work and Claude plays the most useful supporting role. The purpose of the pass is to put the witness through a controlled simulation of the hardest questions they are likely to face, in the order they are likely to face them, with the witness answering and the lawyer correcting in real time. You ask Claude to play opposing counsel. Claude generates the questions you would generate yourself if you had more hours to prepare, working from the witness map and the inconsistency scan that Pass 2 produced. The questions should not be friendly. They should be the questions the witness will face, asked the way the witness will face them. You sit with the witness and run the questions live. The witness answers. You stop them when the answer is wrong, when the answer is technically right but invites a follow-up the witness does not want, when the answer is vague where it should be specific, or when the answer is specific where it should be vague. You teach the witness the difference, using the specific questions Claude generated as the teaching surface. The output of Pass 3 is a witness who has now answered the hardest questions they will face, in a low-stakes environment where mistakes are correctable. The witness arrives at the deposition having already encountered the questions that would otherwise be a surprise, and the lawyer arrives knowing where the witness is strongest and where they are still soft. Pass 4 runs for 20 minutes, and it produces the document the witness walks into the room with. The purpose of the pass is to compress everything from the first 3 passes into a briefing the witness can actually hold in their head. You ask Claude to produce a 1-page document covering the 3 to 5 key points the witness needs to internalize, the 2 or 3 traps the witness needs to avoid, the most likely sequence of topics, and a short list of the documents the witness is most likely to be shown. Claude produces the draft. You edit it. The briefing is not a script. Witnesses who memorize scripts sound like witnesses who memorized scripts, and opposing counsel will notice within 5 minutes. The briefing is a map. It tells the witness where they are likely to be, what they should remember when they get there, and what to avoid saying. The witness reads it carefully, asks any questions they have, and walks into the deposition with the briefing in their pocket, but the substance in their head. The remaining 10 minutes after the briefing is finalized are for the witness, not the document. You sit with them. You answer their questions. You remind them of what good witness behavior looks like under pressure. You let them breathe. They walk into the room ready, and you walk in behind them, knowing exactly what they know and how they are likely to handle the questions that come. 3 things in the protocol stay with the lawyer entirely, and the panel wants to be explicit about each of them, because the temptation to delegate too much to Claude is real, especially under time pressure. The lawyer reads the witness in person. Claude can produce the question list, but the lawyer is the one who sits across the table from the witness and reads the small signals that say the witness is about to overstate, or about to underanswer, or about to volunteer something they should not. Those reads happen in seconds, and they come from years of watching witnesses come apart, and they cannot be delegated to a model. The lawyer makes the strategic calls. Which inconsistencies matter, which questions to spend the most prep time on, which traps to warn the witness about, and which to leave alone because warning the witness about them would make the witness more likely to walk into them. These are judgments that depend on knowing the case, the witness, the opposing counsel, the matter strategy, and the broader litigation context. The model can surface options. The lawyer chooses. The lawyer carries the room. When the deposition starts, the witness is alone in the chair. The lawyer's preparation is the only resource the witness has, and the lawyer's presence across the table is the only signal that says, "You are doing well," or "You need to slow down," or "That question is going somewhere you should not follow." None of that is automated. None of it can be, and the panel does not want any practitioner to leave this episode thinking otherwise. The 4-pass protocol is robust, but there are 3 situations where it does not work, and being honest about those situations matters more than being precise about where it does. The first is when the matter file is not actually in a state that Claude can read usefully. If the documents are scattered across email attachments, paper files, and an e-discovery platform with restricted access, and you have not consolidated them, then Pass 1 cannot do its job in 15 minutes. The protocol assumes the file is reachable in a single working context. If it is not, you spend the 90 minutes on document consolidation rather than on witness prep, and the witness suffers for it. The second is when the witness is not actually available for the full 90 minutes. Witnesses who have to take calls, who arrive late, who need to leave early, who are distracted by other obligations are not witnesses you can prep using this protocol. The protocol is not the constraint. The witness's attention is the constraint, and no model can solve that for you. The third is when the case is so factually unusual that Claude cannot extract a useful witness map from the matter file because the model lacks the context to recognize what matters. This is rarer than first-time users expect, but it happens, and it tends to happen in specialized regulatory work, complex technical patents, and matters where the critical facts depend on specialized industry knowledge the model was not trained on heavily. When this happens, the protocol still helps, but the lawyer carries more of the load and the time savings are smaller. Acknowledging these failure modes matters because it is how the panel earns trust on the times when the protocol does work. The witness prep protocol does not stand alone. It depends on 3 of the durable skills the panel has covered in previous Foundations episodes, and the practitioners who have those skills will run this protocol more effectively than the practitioners who do not. Read a 200-page document by Tuesday morning from Foundations number 4 is the underlying skill that makes Pass 1 possible at all. If you do not have a working protocol for getting through a large document set quickly, you cannot hand Claude a matter file that is in a state to be read. The 4-pass reading protocol from Foundations 4 is the precondition for the 4-pass witness prep protocol described here. Build a chronology in an afternoon from Foundations number 5 is the skill that makes Pass 2 work. The inconsistency scan is essentially a comparison across sources, and the chronology methodology is how you read those sources side by side. Practitioners who have built chronologies the way the panel describes them in Foundations 5 we'll see inconsistencies in the pass 2 output that practitioners without that habit will miss. Verify every citation from Foundations number 6 applies to every document reference Claude produces in any of the 4 passes. The protocol moves quickly, and the temptation to trust the model's reading of the document set is real, especially under time pressure. The 15-minute verification habit, used selectively on the documents that matter most, is the protective layer that keeps the protocol honest. The foundation skills compound, and witness prep is where they compound most visibly. The protocol fits on a single page if you reduce it to its essentials, and the panel recommends printing it once, keeping it on your desk, and walking through it the next time you have a witness coming in at 5. The 4 passes. Pass 1, 15 minutes, the witness map. Pass 2, 25 minutes, the inconsistency scan. Pass 3, 30 minutes, the question pressure test. Pass 4, 20 minutes, the briefing document. 10 minutes left for the witness themselves. The 3 things the lawyer carries entirely: reading the witness in person, making the strategic calls, holding the room when the deposition starts. The 3 failure modes to watch for: a matter file that is not in a workable state, a witness who is not actually available for the full 90 minutes, a case so specialized that Claude cannot extract a useful witness map from the file. The 3 foundation skills the protocol depends on: reading the document set efficiently, building a chronology that makes inconsistencies visible, verifying citations selectively. That fits on 1 page. Print it. Use it. The first time you run the protocol, it will feel slower than you expected. By the 3rd or 4th witness, it will feel faster than anything you have done before, and the witnesses themselves will arrive in the conference room better prepared than your witnesses used to arrive. That was the protocol. 4 passes, 90 minutes, a witness who is ready, and a lawyer who is ready to defend or examine them. The Foundation series continues. The next episode covers how to brief a partner on a matter you have never seen in the 15 minutes before the call. The episode after that covers how to find the bad case before opposing counsel does, which extends the verification work of Foundations number 6 into the active strategic question of what opposing counsel is most likely to file next. For practitioners using the Claude for Legal release, the Litigation Legal plugin's Deposition Prep agent automates the first 2 passes of this protocol with substantial quality. The panel's view is that the agent is a real time saver on passes 1 and 2, but that passes 3 and 4 are still where the senior practitioner does the work that matters most. The protocol described here is the protocol that produced the design of the agent, and it is the protocol that the agent's output still has to be reviewed against. That's the episode. See you in the next one.